Hi, my name is Melissa. I am one of the coaches for this group, and I am going to show you a few exercises you can do at home. First of all, it's best to start off with a little bit of stretching. So if you can find a nice mat or a flat surface that you can do a little bit of stretching on, that would be great. My recommendation is to make sure that you're relaxed first off. Don't lock your knees, most importantly, because if you do, you could cause a lot of stress and strain. And we're just generally going to start off with a easy forward fold over bend, and it will just kind of look like this. And instead of trying to touch the floor, I want you to hook your elbows with your hands and just kind of hang there and dangle. And while you do this, I want you to concentrate on breathing and just relaxing your head and resting. And after a few moments of doing that, you can do a little side-to-side twist, very gently, to just kind of get your body in the motion and a little bit warmer. And when you've done about a minute or two of that, stand up, and if you have any kind of vertigo or hypertension or hypotension issues, be careful when you stand up that you don't stand up too quickly. After that, I'm going to get down on all four and do a little back stretching. Most of us sit in a chair for a good part of the day, and lower back pain and stress can cause injury, especially when you first start working out. So many of you may already be familiar with cat and cow, but I'll demonstrate it now. So cat would be when you're arching your back up, and you just kind of have your hands directly underneath your shoulders, your knees directly under your hips, about hip width apart and shoulder width apart, and you stretch up and relax your neck and shoulders, and that's cat. And then to reverse that, cow would be the opposite. You tighten your abdomen a little bit as you lower your hips, and the point is to do the reverse of both, so we're stretching all the muscles. You can do this about 5 or 6 times and try to get a little flow while you're breathing, and that'll relax your back and just stretch nicely into it. From there, we're going to do a little bit of downward dog, which is also a little bit of a warm-up. It'll stretch your hamstrings and your calves, and everything basically on the top back line of your body. So in order to do that, have a nice wide 5-finger spread, shoulder width apart. Place your feet about hip width apart, and just basically key points to remember: you want your ears between your arms. Your feet do not have to touch, your heels do not need to touch the floor completely, but you can certainly pedal your legs back and forth to try to get a little bit further stretch. You can do that several times. You can also bend your knees and push back up, and bend your knees and push back up. That's another way to do that. And I want you to do about a minute or two in this position, and you don't have to be sedentary with it. You can keep moving if you're more comfortable. Then from there, if you go out into a plank, if you can't do a full plank, that's fine. You can do a modified on your knees. I generally like to keep my feet up. Still keep your knees about hip width apart. And we're going to start doing a little bit of exercising here. So make sure that when you're doing this, you keep your elbows tucked in. And I want you to slowly lower to the count of 5 to the ground. Now that is a reverse push-up, and most women have a difficult time for push-ups, so that's a great way to build up strength. And then when you're doing that, you can push up slightly. This is Cobra, and basically your whole lower half of the body's on the ground, your hips are on the ground, and you're just kind of pushing up and opening up your chest and your back and your the front of your body for a nice stretch. Then from there, get back on your knees, push back into downward dog. And then you can go with that flow again. So you can go into full plank or half plank, it's up to you. Lower down, the count of 5, push back up, and continue on. And you can do this about 10 to 15 times for a nice flow, and that'll get your body warm and give you some good exercise to get going. After that, I don't know if you have a weight ball at home. These are great, they're handy. I have an 8-pound one here. It's great to do many exercises, whether it's lunges, squats, step-ups onto stairs. I have a little box that I'll show you how to do that and to get a full body workout. So we'll start off with a little bit of squat action. Feet should be a little more than hip width apart. Your toes can be either facing forward or slightly angled out, depending on what's more comfortable for your hips. And you can hold the ball, or you can have a beach ball or a bouncy ball, something to help you balance, in your hands as far out as is comfortable for you. And I just want you to squat down. And I go a little bit further than the 90 because I've been doing these for a long time. You might not want to go down that far, but go down as far as is comfortable for you. All the time, I want you to keep a straight back and look up. And a good thing to help you stabilize is to find a key spot on the wall, whether it's a picture or maybe there's a little nick in the wall. If you have children, it's quite possible. But that'll help you keep your balance and keep your focus and also be stable on your squatting up and down. So you could do about 3 sets of 15, and make sure you keep good form. And if you want, you can do a little ball toss with it. And then from there, you can change it up a little bit. I'm not going to do any squats today, lunges today, but I am going to show you how to do a box stand-up. So if you have a stable box to do this on, great. If not, the second step usually works pretty well for most people. If you're not very tall, keep it to the first step. So what I want you to do is stand a comfortable width away from the box. And you want to have about a 90-degree angle in your foot and make sure that you're nice and stable. This isn't going anywhere. So stand up and then back down. And then up and back down. And if you want, you can, with the ball, move it up and down. That'll definitely work your shoulders, your biceps, forearms, and your wrist strength. And your core at the same time. So I want you to make sure you hold your core tight, stand up straight, no hunching over, because then you'll cause undue stress on your back. So we'll go ahead and do a few more of those. Up, down. There we go. And take your time with this. There's no rush. You can do about 10 per side and do 3 sets of those. You don't want to switch back and forth. You want to stay consistent with one side and then switch to the other. That way you don't have any balance issues. So we'll go ahead and do a few on this side. Okay, so a couple of quick little exercises for your workout today. Feel free to comment or ask questions, or if you would like me to demonstrate something else, I would be happy to do so. Thanks.